Hello everyone, I'm Dave Dustin. This episode of my History of Comics show, I'm going to be looking at the Australian Reform Schoolgirl. So I just did a video recently about Reform Schoolgirl. You should check that out. It's got a whole bunch of information in it. There's the American version of Reform Schoolgirl, the comic book, 1951 Avon Comics. There is Reform Schoolgirl. That's Canadian figure skater and model Marty Collins on the cover. And I had this because I just recently got the original 1951 printer's proofs for Reform Schoolgirl. That's what these are right here. There is the original 1951 printer's proof for Reform Schoolgirl for the lettering. So I have printer's proof for the text box. They succumb to temptation. That's wild. And for a couple stories inside. I tried to bury my past and Fast Company. I just got that. That's real neat. The original printer's proofs. There was a printer's proof for the top line that actually went into another lot that got sold. Stuff got mixed up into different lots that didn't belong. That's one of them. There was another reverse negative of this printer's proof for the big text box. And then there was another story title that actually just sold in another lot recently that got mixed in by mistake and whatnot. But anyway, I got that in. So I made a video about Reform Schoolgirl, and I had a few people that were interested in the Australian edition. So I looked into the Australian edition to be able to answer some questions. So this here, let's pick this up. I don't have the 1951 original US Reform Schoolgirl, but I do have this, the 1952 Australian edition. This is awesome. This is my favorite Australian comic. This is a Stanley Pitt cover. This is fantastic. Reform Schoolgirl, what an awesome piece of history. And as far as I know, currently the only copy known to exist on the planet. There might be more. I have never heard of another copy, have never seen one. I've been searching for a few years now. This is the only one that I can find any information on. I've never seen another copy of this. It's got to be super rare. Like anything from Australia, it's going to have a lower print run than the US original. And it's ephemeral. Everything was just like thrown out back then. So not very many of these survived. What this comic actually is, this Reform Schoolgirl, so this is actually Romantic Love number 8. You can see written up here, Romantic Love number 8, 1 shilling. Lifting a lid from the big city slums, Reform Schoolgirl. And you can see it's signed right here, Stanley Pitt. So this was published 1952 by the Malian Press Pty Limited. In 1952, I only have a partial indicia on this. The set is listed online on the Grand Comic Database and on Oz Reprint site. They do not have a photo of this issue here with Reform Schoolgirl. There's one that's a couple later. I think it's number 10. It looks very similar. It looks like a Stanley Pitt cover where it's like the black and the blue and that. Looks kind of similar. But that's what this is. Romantic Love number 8. I have never seen another copy. I was asked about the page count because the original page count was 36 pages. I believe that includes the front and back covers. And of course, this being Australian, it actually has story pages inside the covers, inside the front and back and on the back cover. It is 24 pages total. So what they did is they do not have the first page that was in Reform Schoolgirl was an illustration page. It starts off with my name doesn't matter is the first line. It's listed on the GCD. That page is not in here. That was removed and eliminated. And the 2-page text story Cellmate was also removed. So this just has the regular full-length stories in it. And that's all it is. And it's 24 pages total. So what they did is they put some pages, they put 2 on 1 facing sideways. That's how they got the page count down to 24. So they'd have 7-page stories that would only take up 6 pages and whatnot. So just try and open this up fairly carefully. There is Reform Schoolgirl. There's the first page. That's really cool. So let me get into this. So you can see there, second page. Third and fourth pages are on the same page sideways. So you have to tilt the book to be able to read those pages. And it's only half the size, so the text is pretty small. It's a little bit more difficult to read. You can still read it. But they actually put in several pages sideways. There's I Tried to Bury My Past. There's 2 pages sideways there from that story. Make one less page. There's another 2 pages sideways there. Payoff for Passion. Oh, I missed the title of the last one. The last one was Fast Company, I believe. Payoff for Passion. Oh, it's right here. Fast Company. I just haven't got there yet. See, there's 2 pages sideways there. And then another 2 pages sideways. Unfortunately, with this copy, of course, just being an Australian, a lot of the Australian books back then and British books, they had story pages on the inside of the front cover because they didn't have any ads. They just had it's all story. And they had story pages on the inside and outside of the back cover. And this one is missing half the back cover. So the final page is ripped in half, missing half the story. And the second last page is also ripped in half, missing half. So of course, for those people that like the slab comics and are really concerned about the grades of comics, this would be like, what, like a 0.5 poor condition, incomplete. It's got an incomplete story. Like it's uncollectible, they say, for this grade of a comic because it's incomplete. But you know what? Only copy known to exist in the universe. So, you take what you can get. This is the only copy that is known to exist right now. I can still say that because no one else has ever seen a copy of this anywhere ever. That's really awesome. I like being able to say stuff like that. It's fun to say. Only copy known to exist on the planet. It unfortunately is incomplete. It's missing a little bit there. The one little piece of the indicia you can see at the bottom here, published by Mammalian Press Pty Limited. And it's cut off a whole bunch more. Something and Sons Pty Limited, Mentmore Avenue, Rosebery, Sydney. So there is the Australian Reform Schoolgirl. It's still so awesome. I don't even care it's missing a little bit of back cover. It's still got the Reform Schoolgirl story in it. It's got all the other stories. And the cover. Just because you can't find this anywhere. It's so extremely rare. Nobody else that I know of in the world has a copy of this. Hopefully some more come out. I'm hoping I can upgrade this to one that is complete at some point. But, with it being so extremely rare, I may never see another copy. But there you go. Australian Reform Schoolgirl. That's awesome. Anyway, until next time. Cheers.